I really appreciate the remarks that have been spoken here tonight, and we're going to just pick up from there, and we're going to move on. Now, something happened to me here in Mississippi that really took me on another roller coaster ride. When I found out that Jennifer and Dan and Sheriff McGee had gotten together and had actually gotten me an invitation to speak at the Mississippi State Sheriff's Association, which was going to be tomorrow Thursday morning. This was a miracle. And I was in Montana when I heard about this, and I was speaking there. And I said, miracles are happening every day. I just got an invitation. I saw it on my emails today. And these people out in Mississippi did such a great job of getting things rolling that they actually got me speaking first thing in the morning, 8 o'clock to 8:50. I remember that part, Jennifer, don't you? 8 o'clock in the morning to 8:50. I'm going to speak to every sheriff in the state of Mississippi. That's where Sheriff McGee was going to be, but he decided not to go because he's boycotting them because about a day and a half later, they kicked me off the agenda. And they silenced me. And they said, no, we're not going to allow this radical Sheriff Mack, you know. Well, sheriffs don't care about that. He won a case at the United States Supreme Court in Mississippi. Actually, there was just one guy who made that decision for the rest of the sheriffs. And it's really sad that we can't get this message. Wouldn't you think that a case that a small-town sheriff from Arizona and a small-town sheriff from Montana and one sheriff that joined the lawsuit for Mississippi took a case all the way to the United States Supreme Court to protect the autonomy and power and responsibilities of the sheriff, and won a case at the United States Supreme Court, and then now a sheriff would say, no, that's not interest to us. We've got lots more to discuss, and we don't want somebody that radical talking to our Sheriff's Association. Now, that's an absolute shame. I don't even, I guess Sheriff March made the decision? I don't know.
He's the president, I don't know.
You don't know who made the exact decision. So, call Sheriff March and ask him,
What county is working next week?
what's that? You know, what's up with that? You know? And what I can tell you is after we're finished tonight, if you think maybe that's something they should do for next time, let's not get real mad at them or anything. Let's remember that this is an act of patriotism and love and concern for our country. But I would like to be on the next agenda when they meet in spring. And I'll talk to any Sheriff's Association. In fact, that's what, man. And I'll tell you honestly, when I announced that, when I found that out, it touched my heart that that's what I was going to do. And when I found out I got canceled, it really hurt me. It did. And I was so enthusiastic. I mean, I looked like a little kid on Christmas when I found out that was going to happen, because it was a miracle. And it was because people right here locally had got it done. And a miracle that happened just recently was one citizen took it upon themselves to make sure that their sheriff in Florida got a copy of the book, The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope. And this is irrefutable evidence that the sheriff is the ultimate law authority in your county. He is the CLEO, Chief Law Enforcement Officer. And they gave that to the sheriff, and you know what that sheriff did? He read it. Yeah, he actually read it. And then he sent me a check, and it was a county sheriff departmental check for $200, and he ordered a copy of the book for every one of his deputies. And that one didn't get canceled, and it didn't bounce, like my invitation here did. But we're going to show you what's up, because you know what? The sheriff works for you. His boss is here tonight. And isn't it amazing that every sheriff in this country took an oath? Not to the governor, not to the president of the United States, but he took his oath to his boss and their boss, the people. We, the people. That's who he owes his fulfillment to, is to you. You're his only boss. Only you can tell your sheriff how you feel and what you want him to do. he doesn't report to anybody else. And let me tell you, after I've seen all that I've seen in the 20 years of law enforcement that I spent there, and the 8 years I spent as sheriff, and spending 3.5 years of my life, and dedicating everything just about to this case that we filed against the Clinton administration, to protect the office of sheriff across the country, and to do our duty, and to keep our oath, and to not violate our oath just because the Clintonites in Washington, D.C. asked us to, or ordered us to, or threatened us to. We did not do that. We did not buckle under that pressure, and we said no. And now, after everything that we've been through on all of that, I can honestly tell you, without question, without any hesitation whatsoever, the honest truth and bottom line to all of this is the President of the United States, and I don't care if it's George Washington or the occupant of the White House today. I do not care who it is or which one it would be. The President of the United States cannot and has not the authority or power or jurisdiction to tell your sheriff what to do. So, if the President cannot tell your sheriff what to do, can the United States Congress tell your sheriff what to do? Absolutely not. Can any of the auxiliary departments or bureaucracies within the federal government tell your sheriff what to do? No. But if there are any of them in your sheriff's county and in your county, and they're violating the Constitution, and they're running roughshod over the rights of the people, and they're trying to create more victims, as they have throughout history, and especially recently. And if the IRS wants to come in and conduct more of their type of service, then your sheriff can definitely stand in the way. And really what I would like to do is maybe add to this book a subtitle: The County Sheriff, America's Last Hope, or The Theory of Interposition. It's his job to stand in the way of those who would victimize you. The sheriff has promised and taken a solemn oath to protect you from the wolves. It really matters very little if the wolves come from Washington, D.C. In fact, they're usually the ones hardest to fight and get off your back. Wouldn't it be amazing if you're actually going to the sheriff and you say, you know what, I don't owe the tax they said. They're now trying to take my home. They've already confiscated our bank accounts. We're almost penniless. I cannot fight. I can't afford a lawyer. This is an extreme injustice. And your sheriff goes, ha! Well, he puts his feet up on the desk and, says, well, man, we're really busy right now. We've got that drug problem, and the kids are kind of out of line on Friday night. We're going to set up a roadblock for DUI checkpoints tonight, and we sure wish you the best. I just don't have the jurisdiction or the time to help you out with that. And he's going to let you be thrown to the wolves, and he's going to allow your lives to be destroyed and ruined when it doesn't have to be. And the people or the person that you elected and pay his salary is going to allow you to lose everything you've ever worked for and have you thrown out to the streets, as I've personally seen. And then he's going to say, vote for me next time because I have upheld the laws of justice and the rules of justice and I have protected you. No. We're going to shift this paradigm because, quite honestly, we now have the evidence and proof that Washington, D.C. is not omnipotent. They're not almighty. They don't have all powers. And if we're going to put this federal genie back in the bottle, and if we're going to keep this revolution, as has been already talked about tonight, peaceful, and something that we can absolutely put our teeth in as a real solution to what's going on today. I'm not here to pontificate. I'm here to tell you there is a solution. There is something we can do about what's going on. We can do it. And it's called this: the county sheriff.